Hello! Here we see each other to a new video from the series Let's Get Down to Business in Romania, but with low investment ideas low investment ideas that can help you to make some money without having too much money. As a business woman, as a business expert and consultant, I saw a lot of people that were having some difficulties in finding themselves a way to start a business, even though they are a good professional, because they just wanted to be an employee to have a secure income, and they didn't want to risk and to say that it's really risky to start something having no money. Okay, true. If you don't have so much money, it's a little bit more difficult to start a business, but it's not impossible. I tell you from my own experience, because I shifted from the employee to business owner, and it was hard. It was really necessary, a lot of work, but I managed to do it. So let's say, what do you say if I tell you that you can make a business without having too much money or less money, or maybe a little money, not too much, from the beginning? Okay, it's really important to know that you can realize your dreams by investing in yourself. If you are a creative person, you can do everything without having too much money. So stay tuned, let's begin. Let's see, you are a creative person, right? What connects creativity to business income? I will tell you, it's blogging. The blogging started way years before, and let's say is the successor of the printed content and of the printing, writing, and the journalism and so on. So if you are creative, you know how to write something, blogging is the best idea. Of course, why you should start a blog and what income may bring to you, we'll see like this. First of all, blogging, if you have a large community of people that is following you and are reading your articles, that means that you already can expand from blogging to affiliate marketer to e-learning platform to other online businesses that can bring you passive income. Why passive? Because you can just register once, or you just write once, and after that they all will subscribe to your blog. Also, there are some blogs in which you can read the content only if you pay. This is even a better idea. You write, you do what you like to do, and after that also you get paid. Why not? It's wow. If this is a good idea, if writing is what you intend to do, what you like to do, but you should take into consideration that blogging is a long-term pay. It doesn't mean that if you start writing now, the incomes will come now. No, they will come eventually, but you need to have some content, you need to develop good articles, you need to be sure that everything that you do there is everyone's liking, and of course after that your own web can go worldwide. So especially if you write it in other language as well. So yeah, it's a really good idea, and this is why you should consider starting a blog if you are a creative person, because For example, I, as an accountant, I cannot do blogging. I don't know how to write it. I just know how to explain to you some laws. I just want to explain to you how you can gain or not. But blogging is definitely not my type. We'll see other businesses that I can do, but not blogging. What can we do further? Because, okay, we have the idea of blogging, but how can I put it in practice, this idea? How can I gain some money? First of all, as I said, and as in all the businesses, you need a legal form to do it. Either SRL or PFA, doesn't matter. You really need a legal form to do this, because otherwise you cannot gain. You cannot gain on long term. Okay, you will gain as a physical person, as an individual, but after that, if the money comes in, that means that you gain something without paying any taxes, and that is not okay, because fiscal authorities may come and say, okay, pay it from behind, and this definitely will not be at your own convenience. So do it correctly, do it smartly since the beginning, make a legal form to do this. In order to make money, you need to know how to promote yourself. So that means that you need to invest some money in writing the articles if you don't know how to write it, or if you need somebody to correct the articles, and also in making good publicity, because with high rank of your page, with a lot of subscribers that want or are interested in doing this kind of research and are looking for your articles, that means that your page is really well seen. And even if you don't use SEO as an advertising procedure, it's better to have it, because that means that you can gain a lot more people that are following you. Now let's take a look to your own expenses. Also in blogging, as is this in other businesses, no investment in the beginning is needed. Why is that? Because the blogs are gradually rising and gradually gaining some people, but instead of money, you need to invest time. You should not expect to grow from one day to another, but you should let some time to gain the audience that is appropriate to what you are selling. Okay, you may need some money to host the website of the blog or to invest in social media, but the amount is not such significant. It's okay, it's under 5K for sure, even if you are going through multiple months. It doesn't matter, it's okay. And another important expense would be to have, as I said, the accountant, because the accountant will be the one that is close to you and that takes care of your business. That being said, these are the most important things, and this is why you should invest in blogging, because it has the tendency to expand to other businesses. It has the tendency to give you some passive income. Now, we'll pass to the second idea. If you are a creative person, and which I believe you are, to build a podcast. Why, or who can launch a podcast? Because not every person can do this. For example, from my point of view, it's really okay to launch a podcast only if you are a natural in talking with people that you have never met. It's really important to integrate yourself really quick, to have the best ideas that you can talk about that podcast. Let's say that the podcast is something related to talking to the radio, but you are not talking to the radio, you are talking either with the camera in front of yourself, like I'm doing right now, of course, either to talk to some people that you can invite to your podcast and to treat some subjects. Actually, these are the most common ideas. If you are doing a podcast, you need to have somebody to invite and to talk a little bit about certain subjects. At least this is what I've seen until now and what I liked. Now it's up to you. How do you like it and how do you want to make it? Why you should launch a podcast? Because a podcast has endless possibilities of gaining money. Let's say that you transform this podcast and you receive a sponsorship fee, you receive advertisers, you can make it into a blog to make a lot of connections and a lot of people that are looking and that are intending to promote their services or their products through your podcast. As the website, the blogging, this an e-learning platform or a social media platform, a page, this is also something that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Of course, if you want to be not so diplomatic, and depends on the subjects that you are treating with, but you can do it by yourself. You can do it just with a camera and some video recorders, and that would be all. This is the webcast, the podcast. Also, people nowadays are listening to podcasts than to read. So the intention is to put the podcast in the radio of your car, for example, and to listen that person all over again, and not to stay, because when do we listen the most of the podcast? In car. We are spending a lot of time in driving, and instead of putting yourself some music, the people are putting the podcast, especially if they are something that are really interesting. So that is why it's really usually to listen, and in the car, in the street, in the metro, and so on. If you are having a really interesting channel and you have a lot of, let's say, people that you are inviting that are discussing a lot of good ideas, you have the success already assured. To be a good podcaster, there is no secret. Anybody can be a good podcaster. The secret is to make a good podcast is that that one should be informative, emotional, and entertaining, because nobody can speak just to speak, and the others will not follow. You should have all these three ingredients in order to have a good podcast: to be informative, to be emotional, and to be entertaining. Of course, there are some investment, because now if we are looking to the money that you need to spend to do a podcast, there are some investment that you need to do. First of all are the microphones and the video recorders, because it's really important to be professional and to help you in setting up the podcast. Of course, media hosts and marketing funds are also indispensable in doing this, because you need a lot of services to be a podcaster that has a good podcast that can be followed by a lot of people. Also, time is really important in this case as well. Even if you have some content, it's really important to have good content and to have a lot of videos, not only one, because people, if they like one of your podcasts, after that they will like it and search it for you. That is really important, to have more than one video and to do a good job with those as well. In the end, of course, you need to have paid advertising, because in this case it's also important to be known for what you are doing, and also accountancy, as in each online field and online businesses, accountancy is a must. Don't forget it. It's really important to follow all the legal procedures. If you are still a creative person, let's take a close look to the graphic designers. Let's say that the graphic designers are like the hot cake in the house of the multinationals. Why is this? Because the graphic designers are the best well-prepared people in these online businesses, because they are the ones that are creating you an identity. They are giving you the identity, of course, at your request and depending on what you are requesting to them, but they are the ones that put your ideas in practice. Let's say that the most companies, mid-sized or small companies, don't have a budget to hire a graphic designer inside, but of course they will have the possibilities to pay for certain job to be done. So that is why the graphic designers are really in a search. They are in demand, let's say, not in search. They are in demand on the market. If you know how to use some softwares and some programs, online programs to do logos, identities, websites, and so on, this is another best idea to do it. Why consider a business as a graphic designer? I will tell you why. Because the graphic designers are the best well-paid people for what they are doing for their job. Take into consideration that a logo may cost between 150 euro up to a few thousand euro, depending on who is searching for it. Most of the companies are having a budget for marketing and for design, which you can use it and you can spend it. Also, a graphic designer can upload its designs to platforms from which other people can download and they can obtain some income, a passive income as well. So everything is getting digital, everything is done digital. Everybody wants the design, the logo and other stuff only by downloading, by having a click, and that would be all. That is why graphic design is a really good business if you know how to do it, of course, because you need to follow a lot of courses and you need to study to do this. But why not? If you want to have a good market to this, you want to do it by staying yourself with a home, for example, then you need to invest in yourself. Let's see, what will you need to start a business as a graphic designer, because everybody needs to know how to start. Okay, it's true. Every company needs some virtual designs and they can have budget for this. What is really important for you is to establish the niche in which you are going and what is the direction that you are going to. For example, if you want to make logos, if you want to make t-shirts, graphic design, if you want to make brochures, if you want to make all of them, it's even better because the palette of the client, it will be even larger than it is now. But you need to establish, of course, what you can or cannot do. After that, as I said in all these videos, make yourself a legal form to do it, because nobody will purchase from a physical person. They are all interested in having invoice and receipt. After that, let's say a good advertising for you, or to subscribe to other platforms that are using this kind of freelancing services to sell it to the final customers. And in the end, as I said, and I'm repeating myself, a good accountant, because also you can sell through multiple places, which means multiple situations in tax and fiscality. So that being said, this is the third idea that you can do as a creative person. The fourth idea of a creative person that wants to open a business without too much money is being a social media consultant. Each company, no matter how big or how small it is, in order to gain some clients and to scale up and to develop, needs a marketing department or a marketing person that helps them to gain some visibility and to gain some more clients. That means that a social media consultant must know how to deal with social media platforms and any type of doing and promoting a company. A larger company, for example, can hire somebody to have it inside, but small companies can directly ask for the services of another person, like you, if you are a creative person. So let's see, why not give a thought about being a social media consultant, and to see why and what you can do. So you already established that you want to become a social media consultant. What do you need to do this? It's, for example, you don't need a physical place. You can deliver all these services and everything. You can deliver anywhere, from anywhere you are staying, to each company that you are dealing with. You don't depend on a physical office. Of course, if you want to make yourself a good impression in front of the clients, you can rent something, but in the beginning, from my point of view, it's not advisable to do this, because it means only money that you can invest and you have no return of this investment, at least not in the beginning. We will see after that. Being a creative person that can deal with social media marketing, and if you have little skills of graphic design and content writing, it might scale your business a lot more, because usually people are interested in having these three services combined. So if you can invest a little bit in yourself to have all these courses and to gain all these strengths, it will be even better for you. All businesses, for my point of view, need a certain type of marketing. So it will be good if you can establish to one niche of what you can do the best, and that is what you should promote further. Now, let's take a close look to the expenses and what you will need to start first. As I said, the first step in each online business is to have a legal form. I know that I'm repeating myself, but this is really important, to have legal form and accountant. These are a must and must have, and the others, okay, are important, but these are helping you to be in the correct line, in the correct direction, and not to have trouble in the future, especially when you already scaled up a little bit the business and you obtain a lot of incomes. Maybe it's not so important in the beginning, but in the end, it will be crucial for you to have established all this. You don't need to invest too much money in advertising and so on, but instead you need, let's say, a phone, a laptop, some goods that you are used to work with in order to deliver the services. And of course, some editing programs if you want to go further, and an internet connection. For example, here in Romania, the average internet abonnement is around 10 euro. In 10 euro, you have unlimited internet, which is not so high in cost. It's something that you can manage to do it. So, in the end, if you are a creative person, you can have a combination of all these businesses or only one, in order to establish for you a good model, in order to grow your business, in order to have a lot of incomes, passive or active, it doesn't matter. The important thing is for you to start. This is the best idea that you may have, but it's important to start, because if you are just watching this video, it doesn't mean that you already have the ideas and you started and you already have the money. No, you need to put some efforts to start receiving some money. So from my point of view, this content writing with blogging and social media consultant can all four go in a really, really good business if you know how to do it. Don't forget to subscribe our channel. Don't forget to book an appointment if you are interested in how to open a company here in Romania, if you are interested to know how to run a business here in Romania, even if you are not from Romania. So let's stick together and see what else I may offer to you and all my team can offer to you. Have a nice day.